video commenting on His Royal Highness Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, having his military honorary ranks taken away, various royal personages, and he's not even going to be known by that handle, His Royal Highness, anymore. So, wow, this is about as much as can be possibly taken away from him. Why is Her Majesty the Queen doing this? Well, there had been a campaign by military service personnel in the UK, well, ex-military people, for a fortnight saying, could he please give up his colonelship in chief of whatever regiment? Because quite a few military units in the UK have a member of the royal family who's got an honorary rank. He or she doesn't actually command that unit. Sometimes when Prince Andrew was in the Royal Navy, sometimes had a substantive rank. That's the role who was actually performing, and as well as an honorary one. He said the curious thing was in his honorary role, senior officers would be unfailingly deferential towards him, but in his substantive role, they'd give him a tongue lashing if he deserved it. So this has gone ahead because of what Virginia Giuffre is doing to him, this civil case she's got out against him. I think I accidentally said Victoria in one of my videos. Giuffre, her maiden name was Roberts, so she alleges that, well, I thought it was had sexual intercourse with him thrice. Then I've read it's actually sexual assault, something less than intercourse. This supposedly happened in the United States, I think in Florida, I think it's the Virgin Islands, and certainly in London. Now, this happened when she was 17 in all cases. Of course, in England, the age of consent is 16, so no offence would have been committed so long as that was consensual. She claimed that she was pressured into it. Is that sufficient to make it criminous? I'm unsure of the law on that one. So at the time, Prince Andrew was 42, this person was 17. So he's tried all sorts of ridiculous defences, and the latest one is that she may have false memory syndrome. All right, she could, but there's a rather slender chance of that. It's not a very common thing. He may have false forgetfulness syndrome. Now, he doesn't have any credibility given the number of provable lies he told in that ludicrous interview just over 2 years ago. So Prince Andrew, he's the third child of the Queen. He's gone on into the shitter. This is the start through away of the United Kingdom's monarchy. Well, I don't think so, but I mean, the monarchy's been rocked by a number of scandals before. So he's said to be the Queen's favourite child. I don't know if that's true, but certainly there's a damage limitation exercise that this will not infect the rest of the royal family. They really don't need their name dragged through the mire anymore. Thank goodness, if you're a monarchist, that he's the second son. If he was the eldest, people will be calling for him to be removed from the line of succession. Bear in mind, he is ninth in line to the throne. Now, is he lower than ninth? The Harry sixth, seventh, eighth, yeah. No, he is ninth. So it's not inconceivable that he could inherit the crown if all the others suddenly die. Anyway, it said that he wept when all these ranks were taken away. I have no idea if that rumour in the press is true or just more media twaddle. But things are not looking good for him because of the conviction of his dear friend Ghislaine Maxwell. So the best thing could happen to the royal family is if he was just never seen again, never heard from again, just completely forgotten. Now that's not going to happen, but as close to possible, that would be good for them. So they're going to try and make him invisible. Or indeed, if he dropped dead of a heart attack, that would solve a lot of problems for them. So presumably he's going to offer a multi-million-pound settlement to Victoria Giuffre to go away. But obviously she senses blood. Victory is near for her, probably. So therefore, she's going to pursue it, say, otherwise people just say I'm some little hussies out for money. No, I want my day in court. I want vindication. So he won't settle. He gets something like £300,000 a year, so from the civil list, but that was in return for performing public duties. He's not performing any duties anymore, so just handouts from mummy. He did make an awful lot of money and seemed to have got some dodgy money from some corrupt businessmen and governments, was very close to various dictatorships. All right, he was there as a roving ambassador for British trade. Not that he knew anything about that, but that allowed him to go to places where there's notorious opacity of financial transactions, to speak to cruel and rapacious plutocracies. But to some extent, yes, that was his role, to increase business for the UK. Perhaps fairly good at it. Anyway, he's rather a disgrace. At the very least, he's got very poor judgment and very poor taste in people. I think he really is dim. You can see that from his face. He's not gormful. It's the face of a little boy sometimes, his expression. Now, other members of the royal family, seems to me, realise they don't deserve all this adulation, but he seems to accept it as no more than is due, believing like he really is superhuman and somehow merits all this reverence he receives. And he's, for example, he's Colonel in Chief of the Royal Irish Regiment, Colonel in Chief of the Small Arms School Corps, blah, 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 Colonel in Chief of the Royal Highland Fusiliers of Canada. The royal family's got money for hundreds of years. Andrew can draw on it if needed. Yeah, I mean, his mum's going to bail him out. I don't think he's going to be bankrupt. Um, but people say, well, ultimately that comes from the public, really. So he's patron of up to 200 charities. Most of those dropped him in 2009. I think the last few ones have dropped him now. So it's really not looking good for him. I